window control Hong Kong. It is a safety requirement that to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
Today's guest is Mr. Anson Chan, Chairman and CEO of a Bones Group of a company. His family's multi-billion-dollar real estate development and investment empire. Chairman Chan calls himself international value investor. Before joining his family business, Chairman Chan worked at the Nomura International and the AIG Investment as an investment banker and investment professional. In addition, Chairman Anson Chan was a seed investor in the Evenstar Fund, which is a 500 million US dollar Asia-focused hedge fund. He also served as a senior advisor to Elliott Associates, which is a world-famous leading US-based activist investment fund founded by the Mr. Paul Singer. Hello, how are
Hello, is that
you?
David? Hello there, how
Yes,
are you? Well,
I'm
you
very
have a
good.
very nice background there.
Yeah,
Big home, big
this is a
home with a
cheating.
lot of
This is a
books.
cheating.
My background here is real.
Because you're
This is
real.
my dining room. This is
You're
my
real.
dining room.
This
This
is
is
a
a
fake.
real room. Okay, so what would you like to ask me about?
Yeah. Yeah, we can have a fun casual chat. Just so we can
Yes.
have get a little bit of a chat. Did you get a vaccination?
No, I was scheduled to get it today, but they stopped all the Pfizer
Right.
yesterday.
Yes, I heard that. I'm supposed
Yes.
to have on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure whether I'm getting the vaccination or not. Yeah. I haven't.
Probably not. I suspect not.
Okay. But are you traveling these days?
No, of course not. How can I?
Some Europe and Africa, for example, some continent that they don't have a long self-quarantine period, just 1 or 2 days. That's what I heard.
What, to go to Africa? Forget it. Why
I
would
mean,
I go to
Europe. I don't.
Europe is
Yeah.
a dangerous place to be right now.
Right.
A
Okay.
lot of
Okay.
new cases there. There's a new
Right.
variant. There's a new
Yeah.
variant.
Yeah. I have a couple of questions that we can have. I mean, like free chat. So, would you like to start off with telling us a little bit about your journey to the running the Bones Group of company?
Sorry, what would you like me to do?
I mean, a little bit about your, background, your journey to the running the Bones Group of company, a company.
Well, the Bonds Group is my family enterprise. So was founded by my father, and when he passed away, then my mother took over running it, and then she passed away. And at the time, I was in investment banking, so I was actually not in the family business. I took it over because somebody has to run it, and my siblings decided that I would run it as the new chairman and CEO.
Right.
So
Right.
I really, didn't really get involved in the family business until
In the beginning.
Not in the beginning. When I was, for over 10 years, I was a chartered accountant. Then I became a stock market regulator, and then I became an investment banker, and a hedge advisor. So I never really got into the family business until both my parents passed away.
Yes. How do you compare? I mean, I also know that understand you work as in the banking and investment sector as a professional before. How would you
Yes.
compare now? They're running your own business. I mean, they're managing their family asset, and then before you used to be a professional working for the company together with a lot of other professionals. But how do you
Yeah.
compare? Like,
Well, I prefer working with a lot more professionals, but sometimes you don't have a choice, do you? You have to, there's some responsibilities you have to take up. And so now I work with some professionals, but they're very different professionals. They're, they're not in corporate finance. They're not, well, sometimes they're lawyers, but not often. Often they are engineers, they're designers, they're architects, they're sales and marketing professionals. They're hotel management professionals, so very different. You delve into a lot more of these operational issues.
Right.
So, as an investment banker, you deal at a very high
On
level.
a high level, yes, I agree. Right.
Strategic level
Like
valuation.
right. In terms of analogy, is a bird eye view versus what is that? The warm eye view, right? Warm's eye view, right?
Fighting in the trenches.
Yeah, on the ground, right?
Whether you're in the Air Force, if you're in the reconnaissance Air Force, you're flying very high at 30,000 feet.
Yes, yes, agree. So if you don't like, we can switch the role. I'm happy to help you.
Well, you want to work in an operating company and look at operations, it's a lot of headache. Yeah, attention
I agree.
to detail, a lot of attention to detail. You would not expect a company as large as mine where the CEO would have to delve into a lot of operational details, but you do, because the quality of people you work with are different.
I can understand. I can imagine.
The operation side.
Yeah, I have another podcast. This is for Asian investor. Another podcast and the CEO Roundtable. I'm interviewing the founder and CEO of a startup and SMEs around the world. I mean, when I had a discussion, many of them has a professional background, studied an MBA in the US, Europe, and they used to work for the investment bank, Wall Street, now running the startup. I mean, whether that is a small company, large company, I can feel that they have, the millions of issues every day on the ground, right? And that they need to deal with them. Also, people they work with is culturally very different. So they need to transform those employees every day, right? To understand, assimilate them. That's, I think, a huge operational challenge. I agree. Yeah. So I understand the Bones, your family company running the various business and focused on real property, hotel, property development, and also,
Indeed.
in the past we talk about the distressed asset investment opportunity, right?
Yes.
So how COVID-19 has impacted your investment approach, or the paved any way for the new opportunity for you?
The COVID thing, there are some distressed deals, but not in Hong Kong. There are not that many distressed deals in Hong Kong. There are some, but not many. You see more of them in Western countries. For instance, I bought a country estate in England at a very low distress price. 40 acres with a historical mansion operating as a resort and conference center. And that's at the valuation from 13, 14 years ago. And then I bought development land in Vancouver, about 28,000 square feet next to a SkyTrain station, near what is called the Cambie Street SkyTrain station in Vancouver, at 75% of the original land assembly cost of the last owner. So I was able to find a couple of distressed deals, but they're mostly offshore in England or in Canada. There are some in the US too, but I've been avoiding the US because being of Chinese ethnicity, I'm a little bit worried about the.
But you don't have a mainland Chinese passport, right?
I know, but you and I understand that people.
Okay.
A lot of
people in US.
Redneck white Americans. They look
yellow
at you and
guy,
say,
all from the China,
they're
right?
all Chinese, and they beat you up.
These days, before the COVID,
Asian
I traveled a lot. Everybody spoke to me in the ni hao, right? They don't care whether I have Korean passport.
They look at you and me. They don't make any differentiation. They punch you in the eye and they say, "You are Chinese."
Right.
The Kung flu, the China virus, and then they punch you. So, and I'm sure there's some distressed opportunities in the USA, but I've been avoiding the USA because of these problems, these ethnic and racial problems of hatred and so on. So mostly in England and in Canada more. In Hong Kong, I've been looking for stuff, but really tough to find, a distressed real estate. I was able to do a deal on the stock market on a stock, on a small publicly listed company where I bought in 10% of the company. But that's the only sort of deal that and it's not even at distressed levels. It's just at your market levels. So distressed deals are harder to find in Hong Kong compared to some of these other English-speaking countries.
Got it. So basically, you have a similar approach to the like an international hedge fund or the asset investor who are looking at the global opportunity from top down, from the developed economy, large economy, and in terms of valuation, looking for the distressed asset opportunity. Am
Right.
I
I
hearing
am
correct?
more. Yeah, I am more of a what you might call. I guess you'd call me a value investor. I'm looking for good value.
Okay.
You,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm looking for good value,
Yes.
and if I find good value, that's great.
Okay. I see. Yeah. But
And yes, go ahead.
other than you have a heavy focus on real property and then basically a real asset opportunity, right? Other than that, are you looking at like a manufacturing business, like consumer operation business, that kind of business, assuming that is a distress asset opportunity? Are you interested in that kind of opportunity as well?
Uh, yeah, I would consider, but I would only do it in conjunction with a partner because I myself am not have never been in the manufacturing sector.
Manufacturing or the operation, commercial
Yeah,
operation,
only as
right?
an investor running a private equity fund for AIG about 22 years ago, something called
Yes.
the Pearl River Delta Fund. And I realized that, as a private equity fund manager investing in manufacturing enterprises, you have to find the right partner. If I think now that my real estate investment development company, I already have to drill down on day-to-day operations, on hotel management, property management, the daily sort of leasing of vacant units and stuff, and I have to manage some aspects of that, and that's troublesome. Managing a manufacturing business would be even more troublesome.
Right.
I am an independent director of a publicly traded wire and cable company called Asia Pacific Wire and Cable. So I know manufacturing is not easy, and you need to have the expertise and industry knowledge to run it. So maybe I got a good deal, but I would only go into a manufacturing
operation partner, right? Very experienced operation
with a
partner.
strategic partner that knows what they're doing in that sector.
Yeah. How about your interest in high tech or the digital business? Because like these days, many people everywhere talk about the low-hanging fruit like high tech or the ride hailing, e-commerce, fintech, those kind of business. Are you interested in that kind of business?
I think fintech is of interest to me. Fintech is definitely of interest to me. Although things are changing fast, and I think fintech will soon come under government regulation. Look at Ant Group, Ant Financial.
And financial,
they grew too big, and the government wants to regulate it now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that's like what you call regulatory risk or political risk you need to consider beside the financial investment opportunity.
Yes, I mean I would not immediately say no, but I'd be very careful because there are some political risks and regulatory risks to the fintech industry. I think a lot of people say, well, fintech is unregulated, so it's great. It's like it's like cowboys. We're all cowboys.
Yes.
The wild
cowboy
west
versus the government, biggest mafia in the world, right?
But we have to be careful. We have to be careful about, because I think soon, much like in China, other governments will start to regulate fintech and blockchain and cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and things like that.
Right. I agree.
This is my guess.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful. Not to say that I would not look at it. I would look at it, but I would not be as optimistic as I was before. Let's say what happened to Ant Group and how China clamped down.
Yeah, and that's a quite symbolic incident, right?
Yeah, because right now it's not just Ant Financial or Ant Group anymore. China wants to set up a regulatory agency that would oversee all the data, all the financial data. That's the big data that is collected by fintech companies in China.
Yeah.
So
How about the frontier market? Like beside the developed world, I mean, including Hong Kong, are you interested like Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America, those other market, assuming that there is a great distress opportunity with
I think
solely the business model.
I think Vietnam is a good place.
Mm.
Singapore, I guess, is not
Singapore
developed,
is a
but
developed economy.
no, is a developed economy. So Vietnam, I would think Thailand
Mhm.
and the Philippines would be my
Okay.
top choice.
Okay, that's the bottom line.
That would be in Southeast Asia among the ASEAN nations, the ones that I
Okay.
look upon most favorably. I think would have the strongest economic fundamentals would be
Yes.
Vietnam
Yes.
and the Philippines.
Yeah, Philippine.
Now,
I heard the Filipino economy is also very strong these days because they have a lot of opportunity with the BPO business, right?
yes, exactly. But it's not just them. I mean, Thailand's good. I think there are some political problems there, but I think Thailand is a very productive economy, strong economic fundamentals. Vietnam is good. Some people like Indonesia and Malaysia because they have a lot of natural resources. I am somewhat more worried about these two economies. Probably I'm a bit more worried about Malaysia, a little bit less worried about Indonesia. A lot of my friends like to look at Indonesia.
Indonesia is more like a consumer story because based on the large population, 250 or
Exactly.
200. So, I mean, whatever they do, potential size of gross size of business can be much bigger than the like Malaysia or the other part of the small Southeast Asian country. Yeah.
Yeah, but it could be more something like that. It could also be, for instance, the natural resources, because Indonesia has a lot of natural resources:
Yeah.
coal,
Yeah. Yes.
iron ore, coal, oil and gas, and stuff
Right.
like that.
That's right. Yeah, I was surprised when I actively traveled for business in Indonesia and other Southeast Asian country. I can easily found a very sizable SME in Indonesia because they are subcontractor for the Shell or the global oil major. Their annual sales easily 200 million US dollar, but very, very difficult to that size of company in the Vietnam, for example, right? So that's another, I mean, difference or upside of Indonesian market. At the same time, their logistic is the worst, one of the worst, because they have a lot of island and they don't have infrastructure for road and port and jetty. That is a huge downside as well as a potential for investment to improve. I guess. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
indeed.
Yeah. What is the average ticket size of investment? I mean, how long does it take to make an initial decision?
Well, I mean, we could do as little as a few $100,000 US dollars up to 20, 30 million US dollars per transaction. Depends on the transaction and
Of
whether
course,
or not
yeah.
we are just a financial investor, or whether we're taking control. If we're taking control, long-term strategic investment could be much larger.
Okay, got you. Yeah. Okay, let me ask the last question. What can you expect from you and the Bones Group of a company this year? And then what is the long-term goal of a professional journey?
Well, I think this year we will be spending more time looking at investments in the public markets,
Mm-hmm.
because my business is old-fashioned brick and mortar. You know,
Yes.
old economy stuff. You build buildings, you sell apartments to home buyers, and you rent out shopping spaces and office spaces. This is very old fashioned stuff, and we could be at risk of feeling pressure from technological change and lifestyle change. So I think I would be looking at buying into these leading publicly traded tech stocks in
Mm-hmm.
America and in Hong Kong and China at reasonable valuation. And I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, as you could see, tech stock prices have come down quite a bit. So they may continue to correct for a while, and at a certain level, I think we might be buying more of that as a counterbalance to our old economy core business. So if our old economy core business is negatively impacted by changes in lifestyle and technology, then our investment in things like Amazon, Alphabet, Google, which is Alphabet, Apple, Tesla, or Tencent, or Alibaba, or JD.com, or NetEase, and Nvidian, and leading tech stocks like that, we'd invest in them. Obviously, we would never be a leading investor, but a significant amount of our financial investment of our group should be directed to that as a counterbalance to our existing core business.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, this is the end of question. Thank you so much, Anson, for taking time and being on my show.
When this fourth wave of the COVID pandemic is over, we need to meet face to face, not just online.
Sure.
Have a beer together. Have a beer together.
Beer, wine, or soju, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, lemon soju.
Let's do that. Lemon soju. Yeah, it's that lemon soju for lady. We need to have a stronger one.
What do men drink? What do men drink if not lemon soju?
In Korea, they have a stronger soju as well.
Okay, let's
like a 17 is that's for lady. You need to drink a soju of 35%.
Okay, all right. I'll let you choose. I will let you choose what I soju.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Let's keep in touch. Bye.